guys, it's me, Danibuttons, and I'm here today for our Disney page for the month of September. I decided to do at least one dedicated Disney color by number page every single month from most likely the Grand Classics Tomb 1 through 8, I think we have, and all the extras that are the same size. I just think I love these books. I personally want to spend more time in here. I think a lot of you guys like it, and why not? It's fun. So today we are working out of Tomb 7, and this is going to be a good opportunity for me to show you how I do things different, especially in this book. So I'm showing you the answers to what I am doing. So if you do not want to see answers at all, I apologize, but that's what I'm doing first. Again, I love personally talking through my process most of all with these because a lot of people, when they get these, don't really have a plan, and I like to show you mine. So today, for the month of September, backtrack. Every month I like to pick a theme, and it kind of helps me pick what pages I'm going to do. I want to say nearly 20 of these volumes at this point, which equals 2,000 pages, right? 100 times 20. That's a whole heckin' ton, and it can be difficult to pick what page you're going to do. So I personally try to do monthly themes. My theme for the month of September is Pixar. So I would love to do this picture of Frozone from The Incredibles. I'm going to zoom in on him a little bit. If you can see Frozone, he's not outlined in dark or in black like in a lot of other volumes. This book, for whatever reason, there's a picture, I forget her name, but she's from Oliver and Company. As you can see, she's like outlined in purple and outlined in gray. He's outlined in gray. He's outlined in different blues. Even like Donald Duck down here, he's outlined in gray. I love the black outline. So I am going to do the black outline even though it's not there. So I very heavily will be relying on the back of the book for this picture because I'm going to be seeing what's supposed to be the black outline, if you catch my drift. You'll be able to see once I start in the color key that whatever this gray is that we outline him with is only used to do the outlining. So it usually is easy to figure out what we're doing. So let me zoom back out. I am very likely going to do the outlining in speed coloring because I'll be flipping back and forth so much and it will be frustrating to watch, I assume, but you shouldn't really be able to see the flipping as much on speed coloring, but that's what we're doing. So let's again go to it. This is page 82 and I will talk about it a little bit more. Right? That's not him. That's Chicken Little. Huh. I haven't colored in this volume very much, but that is 100% Chicken Little. So let me see, and that's Mulan. Am I just off? Yes, okie dokie. So for whatever reason, Frozone is on page 83. I wonder where the mistake is. I don't know. I'm sure it was really hard to tell on camera. So once you get good at these, you can kind of see what's going on. I can see Frozone in here. There are tons and tons of grays. But again, once I use like 5 to outline him, I won't have to use 5 anymore. And once I use, let's see, 0 is going to be the outline in his face. And yep, there's more 5s down there. It will come together. Do not fear. Hopefully that makes sense. And that's what we're doing. Also, it looks like we do have some black because we have his beard and his like eye goggles. So that is all what I'm going to do now in speed coloring. And then I will get back to you when we color in everything else. I, again, always love to do the black outline first because it helps me focus what's going on in the picture and like segments everything out and gives me personally a clear idea of what's going on. A lot of times people who keep these a mystery and they don't look at the back of the book will do the black last because it kind of gives you the answer. But this is how I roll. So let in fact us roll on. there it is. So let's, again, I'm showing more answers, or the same answer, I should say. There he was, and here is my version. Basically, the only thing that was listed as black was this part of his glasses and his beard, and I made everything else black on my own. And I love to show that because if you're like me and the black lines are helpful and this book doesn't have them, it can be intimidating, but you can definitely put them in on your own. So that's what we got going for us here. I think this is also going to be another good example because there are tons of very similar colors and I might not use them all. So this will be great for that too. We're going to be doing a lot more flipping back and forth. I think I'm going to attempt to use my Crayola Super Tips today to do our coloring. So that is this box. I have the big ol' 120 set. This is actually 100 different colors, and then the 20 extra are scented, but they're all repeat colors of these ones. These are probably one of the most price efficient markers I have found, and they are water based, so they do not bleed through. Sometimes, or some of them may be drying out, and the downsides, of course, are they are not named or numbered. You can do them yourself if you so choose. I've seen lots of people do different system. With my smaller set, I actually did label them, but I have not for this set. I'm seeing something. 1 second. They potentially are numbered. So I'm gonna discover, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it. It very lightly has H9L13, and this one has L9L4, and this one has J9L30. So they potentially do have some sort of markings on them, but I don't know if that's worth it to swatch or anything. But yeah, that's what we're going to be trying. So my next step, now that I'm outlined, I will start coloring. Usually I'll just jump in and pick my first color and go. But when there are so many similar shades, I will go through and try to pick all from a color family at once. So there are essentially 6 shades of blue. So I might pick all of my blues right now. I actually also might have cut down on 1 or 2 blues by outlining in black instead of the blues. So I probably did, to be honest with you. So I don't think I'll have to worry about all of them, but it looks like I will have 5 distinct blues. So I think I lost 1, which is great for my ease of use here. So let's see. I'm going to just pull some blues. My container's obviously going to stay off to the side. It's hard to see. I guess I'll zoom in because I didn't really do this last time. Oh, I'm going to have to put my book up. I just match directly on the book. I don't worry about like putting everything on a different piece of paper. But if you really were worried, I would probably take a index card and I would line my index card up and kind of color right next to it and see how that goes. But again, I usually just will come right up to it and like boop boop and see what happens. Again, I'm just gonna try to get as close as I can, and if I can't, we do the best with what we got. So I think that's probably gonna end up being my lightest blue. I definitely do not have anything lighter. This seems not blue enough. This process can be kind of tedious, so I apologize if this is not the most fun part to watch. That's obviously darker. That might be that dark. But I will do all of the blues at once because if I can't match exactly, I know A, B, C are light, medium, and dark of this type. So I will just make my own light, medium, and dark and like assign them to that. So this is gonna be number 2, that super light one. Right now, this is what I got for A and B. Hopefully I can find something better, but we will see. This might be the new A. Again, it doesn't necessarily match exactly with what their A is, but it's definitely lighter than my B. Here's, I'll just do it bigger too. I'm not in screen with the bigger. So that might be my A and then my B. That's really dark when you do it bigger, but that one seems to be out. Hopefully this process isn't annoying. Again, this is only my second in like this new series of doing them monthly. So as we go, I won't have to do this as often. Ooh, I think that's going to be my D. That looks pretty good, but D might be the one I don't even need. So, and E is pretty dark. That looks like good E for what we got. Okay, so we're still working on A, B, and C. Whoa, too bold. Absolutely not. I like a B right now, but not much else. I feel like the C is almost leaning towards green. Nope. Or like a tealer than the other ones. Like, I really think that is closer. Do I have a lighter teal? No, that's really bright too. I also could very well be pulling and putting back the same exact ones. That again is another problem with the super tips. Ugh, another problem. I don't know if you can tell. I lent this to my cousin's daughter and she kind of squished some of my tips. So that was unfortunate for me, but it's okay. These are the, again, cheapest medium. So if I need a new set soon, we're all good. I actually really like this color, but I don't think it's dark enough. Let me go like into the whole green column and see how crazy they look. Maybe. So it looks like D, it's gonna be C and D. So it's gonna be like the lighter and the darker. So, that doesn't make sense. That's not a lighter version of that. All right, so that helps me too. Like, actually looking at the picture, and it looks like C and D are his suit out here. And we go, like, one into the other. So if that's my darkest one, I want something that looks lighter than that. That's my lighter one. Also, now I have all these markers out, and I don't know which ones they are. Okay. I got A. Oh, no, I got 2. And I got D. Now I have 4 markers still out. So I was making that A. That's not really any of them yet. That actually might be it. A. Ugh, I already forgot. So that's woo! C. B, C, D. Okay. I think this is what I'm going with. Again, it's not a perfect match to what they want me to do, but it's what I have. And that's really most important. And again, for me, when I'm doing these books, it's most important to match skin tones. And then I guess sometimes outfits, but really skin tones. And then other than that, like if their suit's a little bit different. Their suit is a little bit different. So now that I've done that, I'm going to basically do all of the blues. So I'm going to just look where I have to do them. I have his suit is some blues, and then basically the whole background is our blues. So let's get into it, shall we? Again, there's another misprint in this book, which is very surprising to me, but some of this is blank, and it's all supposed to be our lightest blue, which is this too. So what I do, especially for big spaces, I kind of outline the whole area I'm coloring, so I know where to color. And then I fill it in with stripes, because water-based markers are going to streak. So I prefer my streaking to be as uniform as I can make it, or at least as I can make it at the speed I want to color. So I just stripe it along. Some people are much better at this and they'll make sure to not overlap their stripes at all. I am lazy with water-based marker, you want to keep the marker moving. Every time you stop your marker, you will get a little blob of ink. I always try to just stop at the end of a line instead of in the middle or anything like that. And if you do that, usually it's less noticeable and you can kind of push it away with your finger. Be careful if you've done that to dark colors and then do it to light colors. I have very often streaked other colors because of that. But yes, I'm kind of gonna trust the letters otherwise and hope there are no more printing errors. I'm very surprised. I feel like now that I've been thinking about it, I can remember that these printing errors existed, but I'm still surprised because usually these are good quality books. I got comments on my last month's video about black, like going into the black lines. I think I mentioned it there, but I will do that again, that I am just as careful as I can be. But that is another reason why I kind of outline the whole area first, so that if I do hit the black, I will just rub my marker off on something else so it hopefully doesn't like blend into everything else. So I'm gonna peek at the back because I see there's a lot of this lightest blue over here, but I can't really tell what's going on. So I frequently peek at the back, which again, some people don't like to do, but I do. For these, I am trying to be accurate. A lot of the times you very much hear me say like, oh, process over process, or over product. But I do want these to come out good, or as good as I can make them. So I peek when I need to. I think it will be time to put in some speed. I have no idea how long this video is. 11 minutes. Because how long were my other segments? I don't know if they were long at all. Maybe we can keep going. Okay. We will keep going. I just like keeping around 30 minutes. I feel like that's the ideal amount of time I can talk for usually. I'm flipping my book. I do that a lot of the times too, to get right up into this crease. This book I haven't colored in as much as others, so my spine is not yet cracked. I don't mind cracking spines. I don't love it. I don't really do it intentionally, but obviously as it happens, it's okay. So I go upside down when I need to. Also, that's really for my Disney books. For other books, I will crack that boy. Whew. Make it easy for me to color. Good thing about doing this lightest color first is if I make any mistakes, I can very easily cover it up with my darker shades, which is nice. But yes. Yeah, I actually filmed the outlining like 2 or 3 days ago, and now I'm back to film this part, and I'm like really struggling with my hands. I don't know if you saw some videos from last week. I had like an allergic reaction and my hands were very angry at me, and it was not a good time. But luckily that is mostly better, but now they're peeling and it's just frustrating because it's not even like dry. It's just the reaction is still leaving me. So my hands are all peely, and I'm trying really hard not to actually show you that because that probably is not pleasant to see. So I hope you cannot tell. I'm going to keep the bad hand mostly off screen, but that's what I've been dealing with. Today I actually got to go swimming, but not really. And I was so excited and also so sad. We finally went to see my mother-in-law, and that was great to see her. We haven't seen her at her house in a long time. Probably since Christmas 2019 is when we went to their house. So I love swimming. I wish that I could breathe underwater. Like, I always say that. If you've ever done like the icebreaker, like, oh, what do you want your superpower to be? I always say breathe underwater, because then I could stay underwater even longer. But the problem is I have sissy skin. And basically I get hives in the cold, and usually I take Zyrtec, and it helps enough to not get me hives, but today it was just so cold. So we really only got to stand for like half an hour, and it was so sad because this is probably our only swim day of this year. So I'm happy to get to do it at all, but I wish it was longer. But now after I swim, even on really hot days, like this is how I've always been, or at least in the past 5-10 years that I can remember, every time I go swimming the whole rest of the day, I'm like freezing. So right now I have slippers on, and I always bring a blanket with me on pool days, and in the car ride home, I always wrap up in a blanket, and I just don't know what it is. Like my skin is permanently cold from the water, and it's funny. Because I don't, yeah, like even if it's like 100 degrees out, and the water is nice and warm. So we also played some board games, which I love board games, and I love playing board games. So I always love getting to play board games. And today we played, what did we play first? Sam, what board game did we play first?
Today?
Yeah.
Just one word?
Oh yeah, just one word. So this actually was a game my friend Lydia gave me, which she accidentally keeps supplying me my favorite board games, because now this is the second game that she's given me that has been like one of my favorites. It's funny because she keeps accidentally getting double copies as gifts, and so she usually just gives me the second copy. And by usually, I mean it has happened twice now, and I'm so excited because I love it. But just one word is, how would you describe it? Almost, I don't know how to describe it compared to another game, but basically you have to, like one person is up and they pick a number 1 through 5, and that corresponds to a word, and then all the other people have to use just one word to get that person to guess. But the twist is if anyone matches, they can't use it. So the answer, like for example, it was fireman, and we put like hydrant, and we put like truck, and we put, I don't know. I'm just using hydrant because I know we got that one. We put extinguisher and words like that. But like if I put extinguisher and Sam put extinguisher and the only word left was truck, there's no way to guess it, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of fun because you have to like be a little bit obscure but not too obscure, because if you're the only one left, then you're in trouble. My nephew was stuck guessing Barbie, which he never really played with Barbies anyway. Like he's only 13, but never really played with Barbies. And two of them matched the word doll, so he had to guess Barbie off of Malibu. And what was your word for Barbie, Samuel? What was your word for Barbie? Plastic. So he had to guess Barbie off of Malibu and plastic. And he also didn't know what Malibu was because, again, he's 13. And I don't know, just has yet to learn what Malibu is. So he did not guess that. But it was just funny because if he had like Malibu and doll, and my mother-in-law almost put pink, then maybe you would have gotten it. Oh, there's more A's. Okay. So, but that's a fun game. And I think I really like games at that level that are pretty easy for everyone to play, because I know a lot of games in general that we play can be really hard to learn. They're not necessarily hard to play once you know, but like actually learning can be a pain. And I just like games that are quick to learn and fun to play. So we played that. And then we played this game called Second Chance, which is another one that's hard to describe. But if you've played Patchwork, it's similar to that. Sorry. I'm focusing real hard. Okay. You like get these puzzle pieces and you have to draw them onto your board and fill your whole board. So I think it's like a 10 by 10 square, and you have to get all these shapes to fit. And you could always choose between two shapes, and obviously you can put them wherever you want. So it's kind of like half luck of the draw and half strategic. So I really love that game too. So we played some of that. So I never know how to feel about explaining board games, because on one hand, I feel like it's fun if you are into board games and then therefore can kind of understand what I'm talking about. But then if you don't really love board games, maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about. So hopefully that made sense and sounded fun. I'm also thinking still of doing a board game collection video, but now that I've said it, maybe I'll save that as one of my December videos. So I've mentioned this before, but one day you will get a board game collection video out of me. So yay. Because we love them. I wish that Samuel and I played them more one-on-one, but I find a lot of our favorites are either not for two players, or just Sam and I aren't great at playing board games with just each other because we are very, very competitive. So it can lead to disagreements, but there's a bunch that are good for just the two of us. So that's what happened there. I actually kept using Disney clues for just one word. So that was fun for me. This was fun too. So one of the words was princess. And we were trying to figure out how to say princess. And so I was like, I want to pick a Disney princess, of course. But I was trying to think of which ones I could pick that you would know is a princess. You know what I mean? Because I almost picked Rapunzel because she's one of my faves. But then I was like, if I pick Rapunzel, you might think like fairy tale more than princess. Like if the Disney one didn't come to your head first, I think you would think fairy tale. And then like Ariel, depending on what other people said, would be like mermaid. And she could kind of be fairy tale too. I ended up picking Tiana because I feel like I love calling her Princess Tiana, and she's who I think of most with princess. I also almost put Jasmine. I think she's really good. Like, you think princess when you hear Jasmine. But I don't know. So what would you have put? Well, let me know. This is weird. This page, my blues are weird, but it's okay. It's mostly background. Now we got C, which is most everything else. And then we got D. Hopefully I'm staying in frame. I'm always nervous about that. I'm in there. And I also hope that you do not see my hair because it's a mess. I still got pool hair going on. But I wanted to get this video up. I'm really excited. It's still 3-day weekend. So Sam is off tomorrow or today as you're seeing this, or as it goes up. I don't know if everybody's watching on day one. But since he's off, we're going to attempt to go to a local market called Mitsuwa. And it's like this whole Japanese like market, and there's like a bunch of other Japanese stores, and we love it there. And it's actually always really, really crowded on the weekends especially. So we're kind of hoping that it'll be less crowded since it's a Monday, but obviously it's a holiday, so it could even be more crowded. So we're gonna have to find out. But they apparently have opened a Daiso since I've last been there. And a Daiso is a Japanese dollar store, and they can have a lot of great stuff. So depending on how good we do, you might get a whole Daiso haul. But I'm really looking forward to it. Sam loves Mitsuwa. It's like an actual Japanese supermarket is his favorite part. He likes getting all different types of ramen and other noodles. And then they have like a food court with a bunch of restaurants that serve all Japanese food. And in fact, I might try a boba tea because I tried it in college and did not like it at all. Like, I didn't like the texture. It was a no for me. And then I tried it a few months ago and it was pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see what they got. But I'm excited. And they have a Japanese bookstore, which sometimes has cool stationery. And there's a Japanese toy store, which also can have some cool stuff. So we will see what we find tomorrow. But I'm most excited for the Daiso because that has not been there before. And I've only been to Daiso once in California. And I'm ready to go again. So, okay. I have finished all of the blues as far as I can see. I think I got them all. So now I actually have to pick like 4 grays and his skin tones and things like that. So what I'm going to do is turn the camera off, pick my colors, and then I will come back and finish it off because now we're nearing 25 minutes on this section alone. So I will be right back when all of my colors are sorted. Okay. I'm back. So out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 grays and browns, I actually only need 5 because of what I did with the black and because of what I'm just combining. So I actually also pulling out my Crayola Colors of the World. So these have been amazing for these books. They're kind of just amazing in general. The idea is amazing and I love them a lot. So the only downside for these books is that they're obviously a much larger tip, but we just have to be more careful and it will all work out. So my boy Frozone is extra deep almond, very deep almond, and deep almond. And then 2 grays for the rest of his outfit. So let's get into it. I do recommend though, like I said, I normally just kind of put a little tick mark on the box at the bottom to match. I do recommend coloring a bigger swatch for skin tones because in my opinion, they're the most important to get right. So it's best to see what you got going on. So I'm going to do my light gray first and go from there. My light gray and my dark gray probably should be even a shade more apart, but I find the grays in the super tip to all lean a little bit greener than my eye likes. So I'm just gonna do 2 kind of similar colors and we'll be able to tell the difference, I hope, or we're gonna find out now. Another printing issue. I'm really surprised. I don't know what's going on. So smaller spaces, I just kind of go for it. Coloring wise, and hope for the best. 3s. Are you all 3? I think the whole rest of this is 3 instead of 4. Yeah, so hopefully that is what I'm doing tomorrow. And I'm super excited because we haven't gone probably since 2019 to Mitsuya and Daiso. And again, Sam really likes it there. He is part Japanese, so we always like learning more about Japanese culture. And one day we want to go to Japan. I think that would be cool. Sam almost got the opportunity to go a few years ago. His mom and sister went and invited him, but at the time it just was not in the cards. So hopefully one day we will get to go though. I think that would be great. So, okay, sorry. I got distracted trying to look for my next area of 3. This isn't just another reason that I find it easier to just look right in the back. Instead of worrying and looking and taking all that time, I just go straight to the source and see what I can find. Okay, how much of his hat? Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I actually just used the flap at the back of the book to mark my page in the back. So, little tip. It doesn't help when, well, it helps, but it's always so frustrating when you're doing like this picture, so you have to flip it up every time, but it still gets the job done. And again, I never know, that might be super obvious and everyone's already doing it, but if even one person is like, oh my goodness, why didn't I think of that? Then it's all worth it to mention. You can tell we are nearing the end of the page when I start to get sloppy. Like, I'm just like in get it done mode now, but this gray is pretty light, so even the streakiness shouldn't be too big of a deal. Also, since I'm filming, I'm so much farther away than I normally would be. But I think there's all the threes. Another thing is off screen, I have my blues. I do try to keep the markers out until I'm done with the whole page because sometimes I miss stuff. So then I can just go back and fill in whatever I missed. Again, with the like how these pages are set up, sometimes it's hard to see if you've hit everything because everything is like such squiggly lines. And again, especially if you are not using the back to help, you might miss some random stuff. Yeah, I hope that they come out in these Colors of the World in like the smaller tip markers. I think that'd be really cool. But I love them too because they do have the names on them. And so again, sometimes the cap colors don't necessarily match up precisely. So the names are great because you can kind of keep it in order. Like obviously light is going to be lighter than regular, you know? Oh, this gray was definitely dark enough. Great. I think this is coming together nicely. Also, if you need your color to be the tiniest bit darker, like very close but a little bit darker, I will kind of let it pick up the black because that will darken it the tiniest bit. It just like muddies it up a little. Or I will also like go over the line between the two colors because that will like make it dark in that area and makes the contrast starker. Speaking of stark, that was one of the words we had to describe in just one word today. And we did not get that one right because how do you describe the word stark in just one word as 4 different people? So that was a hard one. Okay, now we got 9 is my darkest. So extra deep almond. I'm gonna peek at the back again and see where we're going. So most of this is extra deep. So I'm actually gonna do the lightest first. I don't know why I pretended. 7 is the lightest. So I still outline my area first. And 6, wait a second. That looks like 7. So I'm just gonna do it as 7 anyway. And that might be it. I'm praying that my back of the head is not just this whole video. It's really hard to film from far away. Sometimes I forget. Eight. I should be taking more care on his face. Oh, that is more 6. Okay. All right. I'll be right back to you. Go a little slower for him. As I just scribble. Great. More. 6. 1 color left. Ah, it looks really good, I think. Ooh, I just thought of my word for the video. Yay. so sorry, I'm not talking. All right, we're on our last color. We're gonna make it. Beautiful, done. What do you think? Oh, I missed a little bit of gray right there. See what I'm saying? Yay, okay. So there he is, Frozone, all done. My modified version of Frozone. I actually didn't have to combine any colors because, yeah, I just eliminated any that were used for outlining. Also, I went crazy at the end there and kind of scribbled. We have a little bit of bowing up because of how much I went over in the same place, but I will show you nothing on the back. We're all good, all clear. If I kept going and went over a few more times, you might start seeing it bleed through the black, focus, bleed through the back a tiny bit, but it's really, once you're coloring the other side, you don't see it anyway. So I don't know, maybe if you see anything. I don't see anything. I just see Chicken Little's outline. There we go. I have to stop filming because all of my words have left me. So the word I thought of for the end of this video is super suit, because Frozone's famous line is, "Dear, where is my super suit?" And then his wife is like, "Why?" So if you remember that scene, please put super suit as our secret word. Like this video, comment down below anything you want to comment, plus the word super suit. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm a fun time. I'll be back in 2 days with something new, and next month with another Disney page. What's our October theme? Oh, I bet you can guess. Try to guess our October theme. It's, I think, an easy one, but let's see what you know. And I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, friends.